Well, Christoph, I want to thank you so very much for joining me. I'm doing very well. It's the holidays. I'm in holiday mode, and I'm so glad that you joined us.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I want my audience to know first, Christoph Gorder, he's an executive director at Airbnb.org, and he's here to talk about Airbnb, I think in a little different way, when disaster strikes. Christoph, I don't think we think about Airbnb in that particular way. We think about fun, vacation, family, getaway. But you're here to talk about disaster. Tell me about the 2024. How it was such a brutal year for natural disasters.
You're absolutely right, Valder. If you think back over the course of the last year, the hurricanes, the wildfires, the tornadoes that the country experienced, I mean, it's just unprecedented. And when these happen, thousands of people are displaced and many people lose their homes. And so the need for emergency housing is such a huge need in these situations. And so what we've done is to leverage the network of Airbnb homes around the country and put those into service after a disaster to house survivors of those disasters for free. And so, we've worked around the country this year, and we've worked in Texas this year, during Hurricane Beryl, housing folks who were displaced by the flooding.
This is so interesting because, help me understand this. This is what the Red Cross does and previously did. Now Airbnb intersects with that. Is it because there's so many disasters you guys had to create Airbnb.org and get involved?
Well, there's just, the need is just overwhelming in these situations. And of course, the Red Cross does an amazing job. But there's always ways to help out additionally in these situations. And so the way we're working is, we're really working with local nonprofits to identify the families in greatest need that would benefit the most from an Airbnb. And, if you stayed in an Airbnb, you realize there's such a diversity of amenities in Airbnb for people with special needs. So you think about families with special needs, kids or elderly with pets, people in somebody in a wheelchair, it might not be a great fit for them to be in a congregate shelter or even a hotel room. And so an Airbnb becomes a really good option for them. So we're working with nonprofits to identify those folks and get them into Airbnbs where, the stay is going to be really conducive to their particular needs. There's huge need out there.
I understand Airbnb, you have a network of hosts. How do you get them involved to respond to this crisis? Because you've got so many people in this network.
It's amazing. I mean, there are millions of hosts around the country, and they are just really generous people who want to help their neighbors in times of need. So the idea for Airbnb.org and for us housing people in times of disasters originally came from a host. So in 2012, Hurricane Sandy hit New York City. There were thousands of people displaced. And there was a host in Brooklyn. Her name was Shell. And she reached out and said, I see all these people displaced. I have an Airbnb. I'll host a family for free. And that was the spark. And very quickly, over 1,000 hosts in New York City opened up their homes. And that's where the idea sort of started. And by 2020, then we realized this was really a big idea, which is why Airbnb then helped found a separate charity called Airbnb.org, specifically to work with hosts to open up their homes in times of disaster.
I think that's incredible. Okay, we're on the cusp of 2025. What do you see ahead for Airbnb and your emergency housing need? How are you guys going to continue to play a role?
Well, the first step is just to, build awareness around the fact that this is possible and out there. And so, by you helping us tell our story, we can help recruit more donors and more hosts because, we want to be ready when a disaster happens. So on the flip side, we're working with local government emergency management agencies and local nonprofits to be ready in places that are disaster prone, specifically in Texas, in Florida, in California, places where you're seeing a lot of disasters, so that we're ready to move very, very quickly. But the awareness really helps, because that helps us really reach a higher scale of people.
I want to salute you because, your help, your ideas, your thoughts, your big corporation has never been more needed, because you're so right about the disasters. They're getting more impactful. More people are being impacted. In 2025, I don't know what it's going to bring, but I think we're in pretty good hands with Airbnb.org playing a part in this. I really appreciate that. Where can my audience go online if they want to get involved in some way to help your organization?
Well, the easiest thing to do is just jump on our website, airbnb.org, and you can learn about it there. And there's really two ways that you can help. If you make a donation, 100% of your donation goes to fund a stay for a family in need, because Airbnb covers all of our operating expenses. So literally, like, every penny of your donation goes directly to the family that needs your help. The second way you can help is to host. So even if you're not an Airbnb host and you have a room in your house and you're interested in opening that up to people in times of crisis, you can learn all about that on our website. You can learn about how, the safety mechanisms, the damage waivers, the damage coverage that exists there, all of the protections that an Airbnb host would have.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of the Valder Beebe Show.
Sign up to host.
We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/Valder Beebe
Christoph, I
Show.
want to thank you so much
We
for taking
upload
the
new
time to talk
videos
to my
daily.
audience and inspire
Our site
them.
is a
People,
modern
especially
baby
this is a
boomer
really good time of
platform
year. People
with
are
news and
looking at
information
something beyond
important to
themselves
boomers.
to do for Christmas, the
Subscribe to
holidays, the New Year. I think this is a
YouTube.com/Valder
great
Beebe
something for
Show
all of us
and
to get
stay
involved.
connected
Have a
as
great day and
I
happy
interview the
holidays.
world's most
Happy holidays,
fascinating
Valder. Thank you
people.
again.